We're ranking every commander from March of the Machine from worst to best.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds gigantic video today. So if you want to support all our gigantic video endeavors, you can go to Patreon and give us your direct money, and you'll get some cool perks in response. You'll get to see some bloopers, and you'll be supporting us, and we'll love you forever.
We will love you as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. This channel is supported by, sponsored by, powered by, some other word by Cool Stuff Inc. An amazing place to buy all of your singles. You want to buy some Magic cards? Maybe any of these cool commanders we're going to talk about in this video? Get them at CoolStuffInc.com. You can also get some awesome sealed product there and get all of your accessories like Dragon Shield, who is the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves. I would say that you can use our Cool Stuff link to save 5% off on your
I almost forgot. Yes, using code
Nerds.
Using code
Nerds.
Using code
Nerds.
Okay. Use code Nerds. And Dragon Shield is obviously amazing. We use them on every single one of our decks. Use them on your deck. Seriously, they're amazing. They have besides anything, how good they look, and they have so many colors. Do you like art? Oh, they have art sleeves. Do you like matte? Do you like gloss? They have all these options.
Do you like Batman? Also, happy birthday to everyone whose birthday is today, and we're going to be going over every commander in March of the Machine, every commander in March of the Machine Commander. We have ranked every single commander that has ever existed. There's like 1,600 of them, and we're putting these into our master list based on their power, fun, artwork, coolness, and uniqueness, all contributing factors to what makes an awesome commander. And we got to start with the worst ones.
Yes, these are all weighted equally, just so you know, every single one of them. So yeah, let's get right into the worst one, which is one of the worst team-ups ever, because it's got Shalai, who's a character some people know, and Halar, who nobody cares about, at 1275 above Fumiko and below Halana. 1 red, green, white for a flying vigilance 3/3. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, Shalai and Halar deal that much damage to target opponent. This card is bad. It just does not do much. And I don't know what you expect out of this card. It doesn't really have any combos, maybe like 4 card combos. But like I said, this card's bad. We're just not interested in playing it.
Yeah, it really doesn't do anything of note. Like, put counters on, you can deal some damage to players. Maybe you want to give this lifelink. There's very little fun to be had because the power is so low. I think the only thing this gets points for is really like Shalai and Halar teaming up, but like neither of them are that cool.
Yeah, they're whatever characters. Like, they're not. I was never looking for either of these characters to come back. In fact, if they had never returned, I would have never cared.
Wouldn't have even noticed. I will say that the little formula that I use for the coolness of team up cards is the coolness of each individual character combined divided by 2 + 1 because they're teamed up.
Yes, yeah, I mean some of them. And also if it's a really cool tune up or team up, they obviously get a 10 because it's just a cool team.
I don't know. Every single one is just that formula.
Yeah, well, I mean, that works. It ended up working, but yeah, that is how we did it.
Yeah, we're just going to go on because Shalai and Halar sucks, and we're going to go to St. Traft and Rem Carolus, ranked 1187 overall, above Kresh and below Sliver Legion. They are blue, red, white for a 3/4. Now, whenever you cast a spell with a Convoke, they untap, and when they become tapped for the first time, you get a 1/1, second time, 1/1 Spirit, third time, 4/4 Angel. Jeskai Convoke, baby. This also kind of stinks. Power-wise, at least.
This card, power-wise, is very, very bad. I mean, you need to play it in the Convoke deck. Convoke decks are already not the strongest, and this just doesn't reward you. What does it reward you with? 4/4 Angels after casting basically 3 Convoke spells, getting this thing tapped 3 times? No, thank you. Way too many hoops to jump through. There's not much to do here. Convoke is a strong thing they put on cards, but the cards that have it are bad. This is not a fun card. Let's mention art. This is decent art. It's got a 6. You're not going to see anything really below a 5 because modern Magic art is very good. There's some cards are pretty bad, but we're going to mention the really good ones, and we're probably not going to mention anything from like 5 to 7 as that's what you should expect.
Right, and on team ups, I don't know what else I need to say for coolness because it's St. Traft's coolness and Rem's coolness, and then divided by 2, and then they're teamed up, so it's a little cooler than either one individually. So I don't know what else to say about it. I will say, what is Rem Carolus doing on this card? What does he contribute? Because they usually, each legend contributes something.
Yeah, I want you to I also want you, if anybody can tell me, without looking it up, what Rem Carolus's original card does. 10 cookie points.
10 gold stars.
10 cookie stars in the comments. You're not going to get it. There's nobody knows what this stupid card does. It's original card.
All right, let's go on to Bright Palm. Soul Awakener, ranked 1087 overall, above Mahadi and below Vran. 1 red, green, white for a 4/3 with backup 1. Whenever this creature attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature. That creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. This turn, kind of clunky, weird wording, but the backup makes it so that something's going to be like evasive and it's going to get extra counters. You just want counters all over the place. Power's all right on this. I just think the card in general is so forgettable.
Yeah, it's very much just a counters commander. Like, we've seen a million of these. Backup is a pretty unique thing, but that's literally it. Like, backup is the only unique part of this card because this is just a +1/+1 counters commander that we've seen 100 times up to this point. The fun, it's going to be decently fun. I mean, you're going to get really big really fast because 2 triggers from this Bright Palm ability is going to be like a 20/20 creature attacking.
Right, and we always talk about the lore, but I don't know. For a lot of these team ups, there is no lore. So there's just like they're teamed up. They don't do anything in the story. Bright Palm, is this supposed to be Light Paws, or is this just some random jabroni on Kamigawa?
It's hilariously terribly named. So Light Paws and Bright Palm,
Those are the same thing.
those are the same.
They're both foxes.
Yeah, what the heck? Or is that just a common naming scheme? Do you pick something relating to light and brightness?
It's me, Luminate Hand.
Luminate Hand. So that's the next Kamigawa fox we're gonna see.
Moving on, we got Kogla and Yadaro ranked 1037 above Torbrand and below Kalidas, Blood Chief of Get. We have a 2 red, green, 7/7. ETB, choose one, gains trample and haste, or it fights something you don't control. And here's the best ability. You can pay 2 red, green, and discard it to destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment, and then shuffle it into your library from your graveyard, then draw a card. These cards are being ranked as commander specifically, not anywhere else. It's unusable.
Yeah, exactly, because its second ability literally doesn't do anything unless you bounce it back to your hand. Now you're jumping through hoops to do whatever.
In red, green.
Yeah, okay, 6 mana fight, that's really, really bad card. It's a 6 mana 7/7, and trample haste. It doesn't even have trample on base. You have to get it for 1 turn. This can be chump blocked after the first turn. Really bad card. Its power is just not there. The thing that this thing rules in, 1, art, amazing.
Kogla's like suplexing a Phyrexian onto Yadaro's
No, they're
spikes.
hitting the 3D, the Dudley's finishing move.
Sorry.
That's what they're doing. Like, Koga literally is lifting him up, and then he's coming on to grab the head and hit him with the cutter.
I think he's just going to stab his spikes on it.
Nope. He's going to hit the 3D.
Right.
They're hitting the 3D.
No one knows what that is. They're awesome art. This is Godzilla and King Kong team up. Super sweet. But the card doesn't do anything.
Yes. Let's just mention, I want to mention this right now. These, for lore, just they're each individual character for lore is what we got because they didn't actually team up in the story. This isn't something that happened in the story. And it's represented on the card. And if it happens in the card, I guess it kind of happens. But we had a whole story written about this. And when we went to Ikoria, we didn't see Kogla. We didn't see Yadara. This is off-screen battling. And it's super cool. Beyond belief, it is so cool. But why did we not get to see it in the story?
Right, I can never tell you what Kogla and Yadaro did. There is maybe one exception coming up of a team up that actually teamed up, and even then, it's pretty lackluster. So let's go to Kroxa and Kunaros. 984 is their rank above Thalys, and below good old Mazzy. 3 red, white, black for a 6/6 with Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink. When it enters or attacks, you can exile 5 cards from your graveyard and then reanimate a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gives it escape 5. Super flavorful, super great, but how many times can you exile 5 cards from your graveyard? Probably not super often.
Yeah, that's the main weakness of this card is that it is a strong ability, but the fact of the matter is you're going to run out of cards fast. You can do this once or twice. I mean, 10 cards is a lot to exile. That is 1/10 of your deck being exiled. You can literally only do this what's the number of times you can do this? You can only do this 20 times the whole game before your whole deck is just gone.
Yeah, you can't. This is not very repeatable. I don't know if you can process cards somehow. The card is cool. It's going to be good for 1, 2, or 3 reanimations, and then after that it just falls off super hard.
Yeah, that is the weakness of this card. The uniqueness in this card is not there. This is a reanimate. We've just seen a million reanimate commanders.
It just has some keywords on it.
Yeah, these two are pretty cool. I mean, Kunaros looks super good in the art. The other guy does not look so good.
Looks like a dummy. There's just no face. It's got a beer gut. There's just 2 circles in it. I don't know.
Luckily, this is saved by the other art, the Constellation art.
Mm-hmm.
That is what kind of make this thing actually look cool. That said, these two are pretty cool. But what is the team up? How does this dog, is it clever? It's smart enough to know to let Croaks out because the aliens are invading? How did they I just assumed Kunos was a normal dog. It would never be able to know this.
It was like a guard dog for the underworld. But nope, it understands the importance of the Phyrexian invasion and knows that now that overrides probably the only thing it's ever been taught, which is don't let anything escape the underworld.
All right, let's move on because we can go into the lore of this making no sense all day.
Don't worry, the commanders only get better. We're gonna slowly climb up the coolness ladder. We got Glissa, Herald of Predation at 962 above Bess and below Ronus the Indomitable. It's 3 black, green for a 3/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one, incubate 2 twice, transform all incubator tokens you control, or Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn. I get that all three modes like work together and you want to choose them like in order, or if your Phyrexian Matters deck, all your creatures are going to get first strike and death touch all the time. But like, what the heck is this card?
This is a weak card. Yeah, this is really, really bad. I don't know what you're supposed to do with this at all. Honestly, and it can't be fun because this deck doesn't do anything.
Fun can only go so far. Like, I can have fun playing anything, but the card has to let you play Magic and do things.
Yeah, this guy does have stellar art. I mean, Glissa looks scary. I mean, is she still alive? I don't know. I wish the story would have told me if she was still alive.
We have to assume yes.
We have to assume yes, but I could also assume no and also be equally as right because who actually knows? Glissa is really awesome. She is the traitor of... She is the traitor. Well, they call her a traitor, even though it's not her fault. She was Phyrexianized.
Kind of mean.
It is definitely something mean to do. And this card is not unique. It doesn't do anything. This card doesn't do anything.
Yeah, Incubate is not that powerful. You need Phyrexians to have the last mode do anything. And spending like the second ability, just transforming a couple tokens, saving a couple mana, it's just nothing.
Yeah, and always remember with uniqueness, it is how it is relevant to Commander and to Power, because
we have an example of that. There is a card that has 0 uniqueness, and we've never seen anything like it before.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. So let's move on.
Orthian, Hero of Lava Brink, 943 is his rank, above Tomorrow and below Icing Death.
Tomorrow.
3 in a red for a 3/3. You can pay 1 in a red to create a token that's a copy of another target creature. It gains haste and you sacrifice it at the end step, only at sorcery speed. And you can pay 6 red to do that exact same thing 5 times. So you get 5 copies of the creature. This card is so cool. I don't think it's particularly broken or anything. It's just going to be good. It's all on board. You know, everyone sees it coming.
Yeah, this thing's like a 4 for power. It's reasonably powerful. It's not broken, though. It's going to just, you're going to play all your ETB creatures, get them all over again. Super fun deck. I think this is nothing but fair, and I think what really takes us to a 10 for fun is the over-the-top, like, just, all right, I'm going to do this 5 times.
It's ready for replication, either side.
It's so cool. I absolutely love this card. It's going to be such a fun thing to do. This character, what do we know? He is in the lava brink leading those little worms that were 5/5s with cycling 2.
Yeah, this is their chance to bring back every character you've ever cared about. But they're like, no, in the main set, here's a character that is not teamed up with anyone that you've never seen before. I don't understand.
Yeah, why is he getting a card now?
Why does he get one? Just forget it.
Wait till we come back to Ikoria. Give him a card when we go back to Ikoria. And it's not like Magic doesn't go back to every single plane every 5 years.
Right, exactly. So kind of weird. Let's move on to the card that has 0 uniqueness. It's Yargle and Multani. Ranked at 932 above Brian Stoutarm and below Lathlas, Dragon Queen. This is a 6 mana 18/6. It's ridiculous. They took Yargle, they added an extra pip, and doubled everything.
Yes, and I think it's really interesting if this actually has a 3 for power, where Yargle has a 0 for being a 9/3. That's not anything. Getting the extra pip and doubling everything up is huge. 18 means all you have to do is give this 3 more power, and now it's a lethal threat as commander damage is only 21.
And you get green, which can give trample and power boosts easily. So I actually kind of look at this card as like, if it hits you, and they built their deck right, you lose.
Yes, and I think one of the problems with this card is, where it lacks in fun, is who wants to play against this?
I lose. That sounds great.
One, it's going to be really repetitive. You're going to always just try and make this thing really, really giant and kill people. And then you're going to knock players out individually, and that kind of play style tends to be a lot less fun.
Yeah, nobody wants to get knocked out and then play a 45-minute game when Yargle Multani just dies to, like, Source of Plowshare.
Exactly, because if... It just kills you, and then it dies, and now you're out of the game, and there's not even a threat on board to end the game anymore.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad. Right, so Yargle just gets all the points for art, all the points for coolness of the team up, and that flavor text is premium.
Yes, Yargle is already a 10 for coolness, and Multani's pretty cool within herself. Not as cool as Yargle.
Yeah, I didn't really read the Yargle quote, but it's like, yeah, and then it just ends in ribbit.
Okay, but even better, their team up is like, Yargle's standing there and Multani's hugging him.
Multani just wrapped around him.
It's so good.
It's pretty weird.
It's so funny. I absolutely love it.
All right, this next card is easily my least favorite card in the entire set and maybe in a long time. This is Errant and Giada, and it's ranked 917 above Lozan and below Furia. And it's 1 blue-white for a 2/3 with flash and flying. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and you can cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. Starting with like the actual card, this is like a decent little ability. Flyers Matters is a thing, and this is the most like generic way to support a theme that they've ever done, and they won't stop doing it. Cast it from the top of your library.
Yeah, they really have. They've gone to this well so many times.
There's at least like 15 legends that do this.
Yeah, it's just X thing you can cast from the top of your library, and it's on a legend that has that ability. This is flash, this is flying. It's a cool combination. It is decent. I think it's going to be fun. I mean, you got your flyings matter, you got your flash matters. The only thing that's going to be annoying about this is like they're always going to be holding up everything. Like they're going to pass, and they're going to be like, oh, do they have counter spells? Do they just have something they're going to flash in? It's going to be super annoying in that way. Let me talk about the art. BZ didn't like the art, and I don't like the original art. So let's flip to the cool alternate art, which I really do like. I think it's like cool. It's kind of silly. It's very bright. The colors, I really like it. BZ didn't like it. That's fair too. Art is incredibly subjective. So that is, if you ever think something's a 10 for art, just give it a 10 and then move it up the list to where you would put it. Like you can just do that.
You can do your own fan fiction list. So I really hate both the arts, but the real thing that just like kills me. Errant is in the story. Errant is doing things on New Capenna. She's helping take down Atraxa during the invasion. Giada's not in the story because she doesn't have a body. She's in the story later without a body, interacting with no one except she says hi to Elspeth and like diverts a couple angels to other planes. So Errant teams up with her wife, Parnis, and other people like Hensi, but not Giada ever.
Yeah, it's really stupid. Giada literally is not an angel.
She has no form.
Well, she's like a ball. I imagine a ball of energy. Like
right.
Imagine like she's kind of like the fairy Navi. It was just like a little light ball.
She's not a little kid with wings throwing goop out of her fingers.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It is beyond stupid. I hate when it's bad storytelling.
Absolute lore fail. Not even good enough not even high enough on the list to keep ranting about.
But like, so okay. The last thing. The thing is, there's a difference between cards that kind of just didn't happen and cards that actively could not have happened. This literally could not happen
with the information we have.
With the information and story we heard.
Something that could happen and does happen quite often is some of our fan favorite creatures getting completed off screen. I mean, obviously they can't complete everybody on screen, but this is Brimaz, Blight of Oreskos. He's above Rocco and below Veyran at 862, and he's 2 white-black for a 3/4. Phyrexian Cat, RIP. Whenever you cast a Phyrexian creature or artifact creature spell, incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value. At the beginning of each end step, if a Phyrexian died under your control this turn, proliferate. So good old Brimaz got corrupted by the oil, and now he's proliferating our incubate tokens.
Yeah, this thing is not very good. Like we said, we don't think incubate's very good. Proliferating is decent, but like you have to sacrifice Phyrexian, so you can sacrifice the incubate tokens. I'm just not here for this card. I don't think it's very fun either. Art's amazing. I mean, this is Brimaz, and he is corrupted, and he looks scary.
I'm glad they were able to complete so many characters that may or may not have been fan favorites, just like legendary creatures that we know. It's much better than they did in Roar of the Spark, where they're like, a lot of planeswalkers are dying. Nobody you've ever heard of, but a lot of planeswalkers are dying.
A lot.
At least these characters are quote-unquote dead because at the end of the story, Phyrexians just kind of drop dead.
Yeah, but we don't even know if they're dead because
they're rendered inert.
But that's the ones that went to the plane. We actually don't know what's happening to the ones
on New Phyrexian. But Brimaz himself would be just kind of a corpse.
Yeah, and this card's not that unique. It makes tokens. It's a tribal payoff, kind of. Whatever. There's nothing really here.
Brimaz is cool. Let's just move on to Gimbal. Gremlin Prodigy.
Gremlin?
833 above Farida and below Rexiel. Gimbal is 2 green, blue, red for a 4/4. Artifact creatures you control have trample at the beginning of your end step. At the beginning of your end step, create a 0/0 red gremlin artifact creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens you control. We want differently named artifact tokens, almost like a Temur Brutaclan.
Yeah, I think that's the really, really cool thing about this card is that it's fun because it does that, like jumping through the hoops to get all these different like name tokens, but it's not very strong.
The payoff is not great.
This is basically, I would describe this as like a bad version of Dadbot Urza, where it makes tokens every single turn, just like Dadbot Urza, but you have to jump through a way bigger hoop rather than just playing it.
Yeah, you kind of just get vanilla creatures. I mean, they have trample, but that's only because Gimbal's out.
Yeah, this card is it's not that strong. Its art is fine. It is clearly just a smart Gremlin. Okay, I have big moral flavor issues to go on with here. Gimbal is a very smart gremlin, meaning gremlins on this plane can be smart. Okay,
they can be sentient.
They're treated as these pests, and they are pests. They definitely are annoying pests, but they're smart, at least somewhat. And his flavor text even says like he's a pest. He's like, you are what you eat, and he ate a lot of brilliant things.
Yeah,
but like, so
yeah,
Fumigate is like massively using poison gas to kill gremlins.
The Kaladeshians, wow, they need to learn something from Gimbal because that is horrendous. That's horrible activity.
Like, I know that they're annoying. You don't want them there, but genocide on gremlins, which can at least have the ability to be incredibly intelligent, is a little bit rough. Come on, Kaladesh, do better.
Right, and Gimbal, of course, you might remember Buddy the Elf fans. Gimbals from Elf. This card just makes me think of the one security guard pushing Buddy into the street and going, "Why don't you go back to Gimbals?" And of course, we do have that clip.
Yes, of course we have that clip. It was now in 2 of our videos, because why wouldn't we have the clip of "Why don't you go back to Gimbals" in 2 Nitpicking Nerds videos in a row?
Let's keep going. We got our first Transform legend in Ayara, Widow of the Realm. She's ranked 782, kind of moving up there, above Myojin of Cryptic Dreams and below Sapling of Kolfanor. 1 black for a 3/3. Tap, sacrifice another creature or artifact. She deals X damage to target creature or battle, and you gain X life, where X is the sacrifice permanent's mana value. You can pay 5 and a Phyrexian red mana to transform her into Ayara Furnace Queen, who says at the beginning of combat on your turn, return up to 1 artifact or creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, exile it. It gains haste and exile it at the beginning of the next end step, and she's a 4/4. There's a lot of cards in this set that do that. A lot of legends, too. They transform with Phyrexian mana because it shows them getting corrupted.
Yeah, her sacrifice ability, dealing damage equal to mana value, means you actually have to sacrifice real things.
Yeah,
That's not good. If it was power, this card gets much better, but it's still pretty weak. The backside, you have to pay so much mana to get to the backside for something that's just, it's pretty good. But at this point, you've paid how much mana? 8.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
8 to get to the back. And it's like, no, that's way too much for this card.
And the front side doesn't even hit creatures, it only hits players. So just kind of like off this card in every way, other than, dang, Ayara's really cool. She got corrupted in the story. We don't really see why, though.
Yeah, but we don't know why, but Ayara is a cool character, and she choosing to become Phyrexian or becoming Phyrexian is definitely cool, and the art is really good. Oh, the back art of this card is so good. I love how she looks. She looks like Ayara, but she's the Furnace Queen now. Is that explored in the story? Absolutely not.
Makes me want it to be, though.
Why would it be?
Why would it be? They have no time for this stuff. So next is probably Joe's least favorite card in the set. It's Pelucranos Reborn, ranked 748, above RC and below Cross. It's a green 4/5 reach on the front side. Then it has 6 and a white Phyrexian. You transform it into Pelucranos Engine of Ruin. This is like a Wormcoil Engine spoof. 6/6 reach lifelink, and it dies into a 3/3 reach and a 3/3 lifelink token. But Joe does not like the front side.
The first thing, it's a vanilla creature. Pelucranos is this awesome card both of its things have done something involving fighting, right?
It's the World Eater.
It's the World Eater. It always involves fighting. Stupid. Okay, this doesn't do anything even close to involved with that. Its backside looks cool and it has a cool ability, but it's not related to what Pelucranos does at all.
Yeah, it cares about Hydras. Like, all your Hydras will die into 2 worms.
Yeah, I don't care. It costs $1 million to do. I don't think this is even that fun. The art is amazing. This back art, it looks so good. I mean, I absolutely love the art in this card. And for lore, Pelucranos is a really cool character, and I let BZ get his 10 in here, because what I hate about this is Pelucranos was in the underworld last we saw him. Now he's back. Okay, fine, whatever. He kind of came back. And now he's dead. What? Why do we bring back Pelucranos? He's living just to corrupt him. It's such a stupid, poor storytelling, in my opinion.
Yeah, Pelucranos has had 3 separate lives that are all 5 minutes long. I like the card. It's just, I don't know why they keep bringing these people back. This card and 2 other cards, I had to go check into the story because I was confused where these 3 characters even came from, because I thought they were all trapped or dead. Pelucranos randomly came back in the Theros Beyond Death story, which makes sense that we didn't know, because that story wasn't really published because of how badly received the War of the Spark story was.
So dumb. So random. But yeah, Pelucranos is back. Oh, how did he get back? Go read old story that nobody even saw.
Go read non-existent story. Okay, next we have a really good card that is kind of brought down by the cards that you have to play with it. It's Kazla the Broken Halo, 738 above Emperor Mealheil the second and below Karuga. This is 3 blue, red, white for a 5/4 Convoke. Flying Vigilance Haste. Whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, scry 2, then draw a card. That seems sweet. This card is easy to cast. It's going to avoid command attacks most of the time. But how many cards with Convoke can I put in my deck before I'm playing bad cards?
Yeah, exactly. There's just not very many strong cards, and this card stands to only get more powerful as Convoke gets stronger.
It's really cool.
And we get more Convoke. Yeah, it is a strong Magic card. It lacks because Convoke isn't strong, so you can only be as powerful as the things you're allowed to do, and this deck isn't allowed to do a lot. It's going to be super fun. I think Convoke is a very fun mechanic that it just lets you, cheap mana, play bigger, better, faster things.
Yep, there's no lore for this character. I think the art is really good. I don't know anything about Kazla, though, and this is a pretty unique card. card as far as that goes.
She's got to be from, what, the Zendikar? She's an ally.
Yeah, the ally was weird. I don't know why this is an ally.
It's just an ally. So I assume she is from Zendikar. That is all I know.
Time for some Hidetsugu and Kairi. They rank at 719 above Oswald and below Celestine. 2 blue, black. For a 5/4 flyer, ETB you brainstorm, and then when it dies, you exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery, you can cast it for free. That all seems really cool, but this card's kind of confusing because it seems like they want you to play it for 5 mana, brainstorm, and then kill it.
Yeah, you have to you want to set up. You're going to cast big giant things for free, right? That's the whole idea of this card. I don't know what to think of Hidetsugu and Kairi because you have to kind of just kill it, and it's not really a good card otherwise. It's not doing anything until it dies.
It's a chunky flyer.
It's a chunky flyer, and you have to set it up because if it's not an instant or sorcery, you get nothing. You jump through a lot of hoops for not that much power. It's a cool card. I think this card is super cool. I absolutely love the characters. But again, let me go back to Hidetsugu was trapped away forever, right?
Oh, I looked it up. There's no explanation.
There's no explanation. Okay. Hidetsugu was just trapped away forever. In fact, on the back of one card, it's you kind of get another Hidetsugu, but he's just out. He's just normal. This is just Hidetsugu doing his thing.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Kairi's let me back you up, bro. Both of the arts kind of look the same. Kairi is kind of doing the same exact thing in both arts. I like the team up. I just think, this card's going to be really good with Malika Rebirths because you want to sack it, then you just get it back again. Mystical Tutor, all that stuff. I just think it's awkward that, aside from the killing it, which you have to do, it's mostly just a 5/4 flyer.
Yeah, which is sad. Brainstorm Adventures is something, but it's not a lot.
Next, Catilda and Lear, 675, big jump there, above Runati and below Trazen. This is white, blue, green for a 3/4, and you casting humans gives spells flashback in your graveyard. Super cool, and it wants you to play humans, but also instants and sorceries, and you can play instant sorceries that make humans so that everything kind of works together. I like this card.
Yeah, it turns all of your humans that you cast into Snapcaster Mages. A little cool little thing to do. It's kind of a fun card. I really... I like the art, but I don't care for these characters. Who cared about Lear? Who cared about Catilda? Catilda was cool because she became a spirit. She's back.
She was back at the end of Crimson Vow's story. Did not know that.
How did she get back?
Just got her body back.
Why does she have her body back? She's a human who becomes a spirit who becomes a human. You can reverse becoming a spirit back to a human, and also, why would you? Being a spirit seems awesome compared to being a human. You don't have to.
What's the downside?
What is the downside? Is it just more fun to have a body? I don't know. I haven't been a spirit yet.
I feel like it would be really weird to be a spirit for a couple hours and then go back.
Yes, it would be.
You would feel so heavy.
Well, yeah, it would feel very it would be weird to adjust to because, imagine that you're literally you can put your hand through your arm. Yeah. Now it's just intangible. Ow, that hurts to do.
Stop doing that.
Stop doing this.
Yeah, I like this card. This card came out really cool. I'm just saying, if you told me we were getting 2 characters from Innistrad teaming up, no one's saying Catilda and Lear.
Yeah, well, don't worry. The next one way down the line from this plane is way cooler.
Time for a different team up. It's Baral and Kari Zev ranked at 666. Above Alavu and below Rayhan. This is 1 blue-red for a 2/4 with first strike and menace. Whenever you cast your first instant and sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lower mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you get First Mate Ragavan, a legendary 2/1 monkey pirate. Creature token, it gains haste until end of turn. This is a really weird card. Ragavan has already teamed up with somebody else. But Kari Zev still makes Ragavan. But Kari Zev's not involved with the other Ragavan team up. And also Baral and Kari Zev are just criminals. And the artwork, which we'll skip to, is them as statues. Baral's a murderer, and Kari Zev's a thief at best.
Yeah, let's not immortalize these two. It's cool art. It looks cool.
Baral kills Chandra's dad. He's just running around with no consequences. This whole time.
Yeah, just does whatever he wants. I just realized this card is both of these 2 characters have expertises.
It's a callback, yep.
It's a callback to expertises, which is kind of cool. But it's not that strong. Whenever you cast a spell, you can play another one from your hand for no mana. I mean, you could cheat some mana, but it doesn't feel that strong. But it's not weak either. I want to be clear.
Get your delving in, and this card can be really good.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
It's an interesting little deck here.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, lore-wise, why does Baral get to do whatever he wants? He was, I assumed, in prison. Is he supposed to be in prison? I don't know. I wish Magic's story was more clear. I wish the cards told me a better story instead of me having to read pages of bad lore.
If I was Chandra, the first thing I'm doing is murdering this dude.
I mean, I'd be pretty mad. He killed my dad.
Yeah. All right, for this next one, let's flash back to 2019. It's Dominaria, and this is the set with 30 legends. And you have to guess which one of them is going to not only play a pivotal role in the story coming forward in the next few years, but we'll have 3 legends before the story actually ends. Of course, it's Rona, Herald of Invasion, above Experiment Courage, below Reese the Redeemed at 653. This is 1 and a blue for a 1/3, casting legendary spells, untaps it taps to draw and then discard, and you can pay 5 and a Phyrexian black to transform it into a 5/5 that says trample, and whenever it's dealt damage, the source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land, you get it. Otherwise, you can play it for free. Yeah, this is the third Rona.
Yeah, what the heck is this card? This card is so weird. And why I would have never thought Rona was going to get 2 cards. And you're so wrong. Rona plays no pivotal role. Rona kind of exists.
She helps rebuild Shieldred. Starting like the Dominaria lore.
So important to the story. But Rona is kind of cool. See her want to become a Phyrexian. I like that she says, "Finally, I am complete."
Yeah, they finally gave her what she wanted. Although I would imagine that she was just treated like anybody else, and the Phyrexians just like completed her like they normally would. They don't actually care that she wanted to be completed.
Yes, yeah, she's. I really do like that she's a Phyrexian Obliterator on the back. I think that's cool.
Talarian Obliterator.
Yeah, she's a Phyrexian Obliterator. But when you deal damage to it, you actually get an advantage because you can cast a spell from your hand for free.
Right. So the backside though is not. It's like a really cool, fun part of it, but really what the power comes from is like, this is just a pretty good Merfolk looter, and you can untap it with all sorts of cheap spells like Mox Amber and what Planeswalkers and whatever else.
Yeah, and we're going to put things in our deck to like double up the draws, like Teferi's Ageless Insight. So this becomes a card advantage thing instead of just looting.
Yeah, see, we're getting away from all the bad legends. We're getting into the cool stuff now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, though I do not care about Rona. And this card is, I mean, this is just a Merfolk looter. That is not very unique as a card.
I'm actually glad she got completed so that I don't have to worry about her being alive. Still.
She's going to be back. Don't worry. No, Rona's the new big bad.
Move over, Tezzeret.
Move over, everybody. Nicol Bolas, unknown threat that Kazmina is taking on. No, it's all Rona.
Here's a team up that I love the concept of, but the execution is pretty mediocre because they're like, oh, it's a team up, but both of them got completed and they're like dead now. They're Phyrexians. It's Moira and Teshar. You did not know who Moira was. Don't even pretend. Above Stang, Echo Warrior, and below Slicer at 620. Moira and Teshar is 3 white-black for a 4/5 flower. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile instead. So unlike with the original Teshar, no cheating, no infinites, just a really good value card.
Yeah, it is a super sweet value card. They do all end up going away no matter what. Even if you bounce them, even if you sacrifice them, it doesn't matter. They're going to exile regardless. So it's not going to combo off as easy as the old Teshar, who could just combo with an absolute ham sandwich. But this is a powerful card. It's very easy. If you cast something that casts like a 0 mana artifact, you can get back any amount of mana value. So if something's a 9-drop, you can get it back to attack with, get it TTBs, do whatever you wanted with it.
Yeah, this is going to be more like, you're going to see like cast Chrome Mox, get Villas, and then you're just like, oh my god. Yeah, Moira and Teshar is really good, and you're going to have to kill it.
Yeah, also, I implore you, without looking it up, what does Moira's original card do? I just looked it up, and I still don't know.
Yeah, Moira is not the character I would have brought back for this.
I don't. She's useless. I mean, Teshar at least is a card that has been relevant to like CDH and Commander.
Still a throwaway character though.
But yeah, very much a throwaway character. This card is actually fairly unique. It cares about historic and it returns things to the turn. At least it's got that going.
Yeah, we haven't seen historic in a while, so saved a bad character pairing with a good card. So this, as far as I know, is the only team up which actually happens in the story. It is Rankle and Torbrand. 535 is their rank on the master list, above Tormod and below Cherix. They are 1 black, red for a 3/4 flying, first strike haste. Whenever it hits a person, you can choose any of the following modes. Everybody gets a treasure, everybody sacrifices a creature, and the next time sources you control would deal damage this turn, they deal that much +2. And what I didn't realize at first is that they have first strike, so all your regular creatures hit for more after Rankle and Torbrand hits.
Yeah, so Rankle and Torbrand is actually pretty cool, pretty powerful. You're going to play a bunch of tokens so that you can sacrifice useless things, and then your opponents are going to be sacrificing real creatures, as like with the real Rankle. This card is very mana intensive, but we're not going to care because it's our commander. We're building our mana base to cast this. Very evasive threat. It's going to get those hits in easily. I mean, even though people see it coming, it's still going to get down and just get in dirty. I really like, its bottom line is not things you control, because Rankle does things to everybody. So sources everyone controls now deal extra damage.
So if there's something could go horribly wrong, I think this card's really cool. As far as what Rankle and Torbrand actually do in the story, which we can bring up, we normally do this, but most people don't do things. Torbrand's like going after a Yara and like the Lockthwain trying to stop Phyrexians, and Rankle is just like screwing around, not really teamed up with him. They're just kind of traveling together. So at best, you would see them running together. That's all they really did together.
They didn't do anything together.
Rankle eventually steals Torbrand's Ring of 3 Wishes, which seems overpowered, and then just wishes for like 2 stupid things, and then wishes for it to rain love potion. All the Phyrexians fall in love with Rankle, and they all fall into like a chasm together.
Yeah, on top of Rankle, who I would assume
he ends up on top.
He ends up on top?
Yeah, and then he like falls asleep.
Oh.
No one knows what happens after that.
It's weird. But they do not actually team up, and don't worry, they have to explain, they exposit very much how the Ring of 3 Wishes that is overpowered can only do things to the world. Like, so I can't just wish the Phyrexians away. I have to like use some secret wish that I was going to use.
You can just do some equal wish, which will still kill them all. Kind of weird. I don't know why Torbrand wouldn't just bring more Rings of 3 Wishes.
And actually, the other art is way cooler than this one. I don't like this main art, so look at the other art. They're like fighting together. Torbrand's axing its leg, and karate kick McGee, aka Rankle, hitting him with the karate kick in the face.
Daniel LaRusso, Rankle, taking him down. Time for another team up. It's Dejeru and Hazoret. 524 is their rank, above Durnan and below Chatterfang. 2 red, white for a 5/4. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, it has haste and vigilance. Whenever it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may exile a legendary creature card from among them, put the rest on the bottom, and you can cast it for free until end of turn. That's actually pretty sweet. I know the first part, like, I don't want to have 1 or less cards in hand. Forget about it. You can give it haste for some other reason and just put a bunch of legends in your deck, and now you're casting big boys for free.
For free, yeah. The fact that this can just cast legends for free is what is powerful about the card. I looked at it originally. I thought this was bad. I thought you could cast that legend until end of turn.
No, for free.
For free is a big difference. Makes this card a lot better, and it's a lot more fun. I don't know. This is weird. The only thing Hazoret contributes is that you can get haste if there's 1 card in your hand. Because like Dejeru is known for calling planeswalkers, but it's
right.
So it can calling legends its ability.
Maybe like they're calling the other 2 gods who we know are still alive. Scarab God and Locust God are still on the plane, and I think they're good guys now. We don't get a look into Hazoret's life much.
That would have been cool. For the art, okay, first thing, it kind of looks cool, but let's look at this invocation art. These look terrible. I don't know what they did. I think there's a couple of things that people have stated that might be the reason. One, it just looks weird because the text is normal, and we're so used to it on this the invocation border being unreadable. Other people have said, I think it's centered text on the normal ones. But I don't know if that's true. I don't remember, but I've heard that.
I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to complain about this so much when they at least try to fix it from the last version, which everybody complained about nonstop. So the people who are like, no, change it back, like, that's a little much for me. I think there might still be problems with it. They haven't perfected it. But this is good because they get feedback, and then next time we go to Amonkhet, they can maybe do a hybrid version that is readable and still hieroglyphic-y.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a Magic Online card, the way it looks, because Magic Online will just put the regular text on the cards and make it readable, so that when you're playing the game, you can read every card. It looks unnatural.
Yeah, this and Emoti was the other card that'll have it.
Yeah.
Continuing our streak of team-ups, Drana and Linvala is ranked 505, so pretty good, above Zerda and below Emoti, the card I literally just mentioned 2 seconds ago. 1 white, black for a 3/4, flying vigilance. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. And this thing has all those abilities, and you can spend mana as though we're in any color to activate those abilities. I think this card is so cool. It's like the perfect mixture of this. It's like an evil angel. Not only am I going to stop you, I'm going to steal all the stuff for myself. And as we know, Linvala is a good Magic card.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the strong stacks ability is just strong. I mean, it just shuts off part of the deck. You're going to want to play this alongside other stacks to shut off other things. And then your creatures gain those abilities. So if there's a really strong ability on the battlefield, you just get it for yourself. This is at minimum probably going to be a mana dork.
Yeah, even a mana dork is just fine by me because it's already a 3/4 flying vigilance. It does stuff.
Yeah, it gets to attack and then do it. This isn't going to be fun to play against. I mean, It's just a stacks piece. Stacks pieces are obviously not fun to play against. They're not even really that fun to play because most of it's strength. Almost all of it, like what you get is the preventing.
It's going to be cool to try to take stuff, but I can't really build my deck so that I'm taking stuff from my opponents. It just depends on what they play.
Yes, and I absolutely love the alternate art again. This is in the Zendikar, like, I don't remember what their style was called, but the cool Zendikar alt art, and it looks really pretty.
I just love that. I love the original art, too. It's just amazing.
The original art also very good, but I think the other one is even better. Like, it's super, super pretty. Linvala shows up in the story.
Yep, she's in the story. Jonna's not.
And she is fighting the Phyrexians with Tazari. That's a team up.
Yeah, Tazri and Kaza is there, and Aura is also there.
These are all characters that could have teamed up. No, we get Drana, who's not in the story.
Like, they could have just put Drana in that group, too, and then it would have just made a little bit more sense. They fight Nahiri, and Nahiri does the classic probably dead, but there's no body, so definitely not dead.
Well, she's definitely not dead because of the product. Scott, you can...
Aftermath, she's on the art.
So, yeah.
And she's not a Phyrexian on the art.
And not only is she not a Phyrexian, her arms are normal. Her arms were swords. How did they become normal arms again?
Well, I mean, you saw Ajani's organs clearly were all removed. Skin removed, fur removed, and then they art for negate, which we can also put on screen. Forget it.
It's so...
What are stakes?
What are stakes, and where do I find them?
Yes, where do I find them? Only with Luca and Tamio are there stakes. All right, this next team up probably has the blandest art out of everything. This is Elenda and Azor, and you can't really even tell Azor's there, but he is. Ranked 463 above Torrens and below Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. It's 3 white, blue, black for a 6/6 flying ward 2. When it attacks, you can pay Esper and X and draw X cards, just like Azor. At the beginning of each end step, you may pay 4 life. If you do, you get a number of 1/1 black vampire knight creature tokens with lifelink equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Kind of weird that they are black when they were white in Ixalan. Maybe because they're knights now?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, they made them knights purely for the sake of,
For the knight Esper deck, which this is part of.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is part of that. And this ability is decently strong, but it is just basically wasting your whole turn. But
it's clunky.
I do like that the card draw comes with tokens, and those tokens will gain you some life. So that is a nice little thing. It's going to be a pretty fun thing to do. Get it out, get in those attacks, draw cards. It's got ward, so it's a little tougher to kill. Make some tokens. It does a lot of fun things. Like you said, the art is whatever. It's really bland. And why I hate when they do this. 2 characters are equally represented on this card. Why is Elenda in focus and in the background kind of blurry is Azor?
I think they did it perfect with Linvala and Drana. That is just like such a good showcase of them.
I also thought, according to my partner, who is much more into the lore than me, Azor was trapped on an island. I thought.
Here's another character of like somehow Palpatine return. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do love that. Like all these, like any character that you're like, how did they get there? It's just somehow Azor returned.
Somehow Belukronos returned. Like I don't.
So stupid. So dumb. But this card is super unique. I think that the fact that you combine this card draw, this attack thing, and making tokens all into this one card really gives you something that you don't see on other cards.
One of the more unique commanders out of all of these on the list.
Especially so far. Like we have not had something this unique really.
Time for another really unique legend. It's Quintorius Loremaster. He's ranked 455 above Chisgoria and below Dragonlord Solungar. 3 red-white for a 3/5 vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, exile target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard, and you get a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Now you can pay 1 red, white, and tap it to sacrifice a spirit, and choose target card, exile with Quintorius, and you can cast it for free. If it would be put into a graveyard, put it on the bottom of your deck instead. And I think Quintorius is really interesting because his spark ignites in the story, but I guess this is him right before that.
Yeah, this card is really cool. I think it's decently powerful too. You're going to exile something right away. You're going to get a 3/2. You're going to start building those tokens. He always comes with the spirit that he needs to sacrifice in order to play the card for free. You're going to play big, dumb, over-the-top spells in this deck so you can do silly things. Decently powerful card. Got a 4 for power. We gave it a 7 for fun. This card seems really sweet with the big stuff. That's what I'm excited to do. Like, I'm going to exile things. I'm going to get the big stuff. And then we look at his alternate art where he's doing some fighting and
shooting scroll guns.
Shooting scroll guns, which That's scary. Who, like, imagine the power of a gun in knowledge. Whoa!
Writing plus a gun. The pen is already mightier than the sword. So now it's a gun.
The scroll is mightier than the regular gun.
Yes, it is. Oh, and I was wondering, Cherry said that Quintorius is going to show up in Throne of Eldraine, but I think he's going to show up in Ixalan as a planeswalker, because that one guy from Reddit who spoils everything and is literally never wrong said he was going to be in Ixalan.
See, I predicted he wouldn't be in Ixalan and that he'll be in Eldraine. The last thing he says is that he's going to show up, or that he's right when this happens, he's thinking of his friends Will and Rowan, who are from Eldraine. So wouldn't he end up on Eldraine? That makes the most sense. It's kind of super unique, though. I want to mention that quick.
Also predicted, just because there's no other time to ever say this, also predicted in the upcoming Ixalan set, glow-in-the-dark magic cards.
We'll see.
I don't know, but we'll see. Now, flavor-wise, this is one of the coolest creatures in the set. This is Heliod, the Radiant Dawn, above Sorulf and below Willow Dusk at rank 4/4/4. He's 2 white for a 4/4 legendary enchantment creature god. When enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand, and you can pay 3 and a blue Phyrexian mana to transform him into Heliod, the Warped Eclipse, which is like the coolest name ever. Now you can cast spells as though they had flash, and spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. When you complete a bunch of people on Theros, if they're worshiping a god, the god just automatically turns into a Phyrexian. That is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. But let's talk about the power of this card, which is not there.
The front's pretty weak.
The front side is just like a really bad like return and enchantment thing.
It's like a regrowth.
It's not very good. And then you flip it to the backside, and it's like, oh, your stuff has flash, and it kind of costs less. It's whatever. It's not really that good, but it's not terrible, but it's definitely not good.
Yeah, pretty weird. All the coolness from this and all the interesting parts of this commander come from like, geez, they completed Heliod just by completing all his worshippers. Off screen, I think the other 5 main Therosian gods are all completed as well. Who knows if they got reverted or if they're just dead. Heliod got his throat slit by Kaya and is actually dead.
In 2 seconds.
One hit KO from Kaya, killing a god. Where was she in all other Theros plots?
So, okay, let's go over a couple things. This art is amazing. The completed god,
so good.
Looks amazing. You mentioned the lore. Stupid how fast it dies.
At least he's in the story.
At least he is in the story. But like the tiniest bit. Like
he got a couple paragraphs.
He got like a pair. Like I don't even know if he got a couple.
I would say he got like 4.
But this card has no god text. What is going on? It's a god. It's supposed to get indestructible some way. It just doesn't do anything like that, which is so dumb.
Pretty much every god, except for the Kaldheim gods, which are specifically more mortal than the others. Every god, from Amonkhet to Theros to whatever else, has a recursive ability that means they come back or they don't die. But this one, it just doesn't.
It just doesn't.
Even the other god in this set, the flip side of a battle, Ephara, can get indestructible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and for uniqueness, this card is it's Vidalcan Ori, really. Like that's what you get out of this, which is strange and fairly unique. But the front side's so boring and so nothing that it's not as unique.
Actually, you know what? We've been unfair because Dejero and Hazaret, same problem. Where's the god text?
Yeah, that is true. That is completely
Let's
fair.
not give Heliod all the flack.
The fleek.
Now, when you think Rashmi, you think, of course, she's going to be with Ragavan. 425 above Urtet, below Hannah Ship's Navigator. 1 green, blue, red for a 2/4, and then this is just the biggest block of text. Whenever you cast your first spell during each of your turns, exile the top card of a target opponent's library and create a treasure token. Then you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost if it's a spell with mana value less than the number of artifacts you control. If you don't cast it this way, you may cast it its turn. For mana. This looks better than it is, actually, because it's only during your turn. So you only get to do it once every go-around, and it can't possibly be when Rashmi comes out unless you flash it in, because that's your first spell.
Exactly. I really hate this card. I mean, I was super excited. I thought this was an awesome, cool design, very powerful. I was like, wow, it's going to be sweet. Why is it only during your turn?
Buried in that paragraph.
Yeah, Rashmi is known for, like, her other card does it on every single turn. So you want to play instants, you want to flash things in. I thought that's what this card did, and I thought it would be cool and powerful. But no, instead of doing that, it does crap. I hate it. It makes me so sad that this is only during your turn, and it can never be the turn that Rashmi has played. They just made this card really, really bad. I think it's super fun. The design is awesome. I love that you get to play off other people's decks, but obviously it loses 1 point for fun because people don't like having their stuff stolen.
I like that there's something to build towards. I love everything about this card. I think they just were safe on how powerful they made it, which is fine. I don't want this card to be busted. by taking away that first part. This card's obnoxious if you do that.
Yeah, I guess that is also a fair takeaway. I really do like this art. They look pretty cool, and
It's like, why is Ragavan not with Carrie Zev? What's going on?
This card would probably be a 10 for uniqueness if you could do it on everyone else's turn, but instead it's just like, hey, cast a spell, steal one thing, and it's like that takes a lot of uniqueness away from this card.
Who do we got next, Cherries?
Well, it's Sadar Jabari of Zhalfir, and yes, this is his second card, and perhaps the biggest gap in any character because he's near the bottom of the list, like 100 from the bottom, and now he's all the way up at 404. That's right, we got an error here. Obosh is who he is above, and Tasha is who he is below. One in an Esper for a 4/3 flying in first strike guy. Whenever you attack with at least one knight, you get to draw the discard. That's an eminence ability, meaning it works in the command zone and when it's on the battlefield. And then when this makes contact with a player, meaning it deals combat damage, you can return a knight from your graveyard to the battlefield. This card is strong, and it really makes knights have a good amount of support. And this card brings it all together into an actual good card. Has eminence without being busted. A fair eminence commander.
Nobody asked for Eminence, though. But I'll give you a pass because this isn't that brutal.
This is what all of Eminence should
At least the commander wants to be on the battlefield, unlike almost every other Eminence card.
Yes. The commander, it's actually its strongest ability is its ability on the battlefield, which is what you want, instead of the other Eminence commanders where it's like, my strongest ability is to sit in the command zone and be like, I don't do nothing. Yeah. Super fun card. I think Knights Tribal is absolutely awesome. I think they've made it good. I've actually attempted to build this because I actually really like this card a lot.
It's strong. I mean, this is the strongest commander I think we've had so far.
Yeah, and Sadar Jabari is out here riding a griffin. He looks kind of cool, but also the art's a little weird. It's like really zoomed into him.
Yeah, he wants to be up front and center. He wants you to know, I no longer am a 4-mana 2/2 with flanking.
Yeah, I no longer am one of the worst legends ever printed. I am a real Magic card who has gained 2 colors since my last card.
This next card has my vote for the most random team up. This is Surak and Goreclaw, 389 above Kit Kanto and below Mogus. And I say that because this is the only monocolored team up. And it's kind of just thrown into the set. There's not a cycle, it's just them as a green rare. 4 green for a 6/5 trample. Other creatures you control have trample, and whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste until end of turn. Much like the original Surak from 9 years ago, this one is green haste enabling.
No, isn't this the second Surak?
The other Surak from 9 years ago with a green one.
Oh, yes. So this is so I need to know for lore reasons. One, Goreclaw and Surak are really cool. Is Goreclaw the bear that Surak killed in the past?
Right. I don't think it is, but maybe it is.
I don't know either. Either way, they're teaming up now, and also is remember Surak was punching a bear at one point.
That's true.
Now he's teaming up
with a bear.
He's punching with a bear, which is it's all cool. The art's pretty good on this card. Another weird thing about this card is it just doesn't have an alt art. It's just an extended art. We got to see there's other Tarkir Legends that we're gonna see where they got this cool.
They're next, actually.
It's literally a pencil drawing, and I think it looks amazing. Like,
does that mean that this was a set booster exclusive? Maybe that would maybe explain why it's so random.
It's so random, but whatever. This card is decently strong. Giving haste, all your creatures are coming in, getting counters, and beating in right away. I think it's going to be fun. You're going to play big, giant beaters, and I really think where this card shines is obviously the 2 cool characters. Is it unique? A little bit, because mono green haste is mainly just Surak. He's like the mono green haste master.
Yeah, you got to kill this, though. If you don't kill this card, you're going to get run over in 2 seconds.
Out of nowhere, too, because you're never going to see it coming. It's like, oh, they have one thing. What are they going to do?
Eldrazi, you're dead.
Real Goreclaw.
Coincidentally, the other 2 Tarkir Legends are just next. It's Zurgo and Ojutai, ranked 291 above Kalia Zenith Seeker, and below Kiki Jiki. 2 blue, red, white for a 4/4 flying haste. It has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. And when one or more dragons you control hit a player, you anticipate, and then you can return one of those dragons to the owner's hand. I'm pretty sure that's the gist of that giant paragraph.
It is. And what's really cool about this is if you have 3 dragons, you can hit 3 different players and draw 3 cards, essentially. And if you put a battle on the battlefield, you could hit potentially 3 players and a battle and draw 4 cards. Just a cool little thing. This card actually asks you to play battles. It actually has an upside. It's kind of cool.
And we were wondering what Zurgo contributed. We found out it's the haste and the pseudo dash, the last sentence.
Yeah, and the bring back it to your hand, which is cool because what makes this card cool is if you want to keep playing it, you keep bouncing it to your hand. It'll always have hexproof, so people can't just remove it, and you can keep drawing cards over and over again.
Yeah, powerful, thematic. I like everything about this thing. There's no complaints. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the pencil drawing on the back. I respect it, and it looks cool, But as far as like aesthetically, I'm not.
Yeah, I really love like the shaded like a pencil drawing. I think it's a pencil drawing. It's at least what it looks like.
It looks double feature to me.
I love it. And see, it doesn't look double feature at all to me. It was drawn that way originally instead of being a normal art that was grayscale.
Yeah.
That is normal art that's grayscale, terrible. Drawn that way, much cooler. And this card just overall super unique. And a new color combination for dragons. Jeskai Dragons, not a thing up to this point. Yeah. Now it is super cool. I love any combination that has red in it for dragons. Just gives you more fun stuff to play.
Let's keep going. We're climbing towards the top of this list. Borborygmos and Fibblethip, 222 above Vanifar, and below Emery, 2 green, blue, red for a 6/5 ETB or attacks. Draw a card, then discard any number of lands, and shoot a creature equal to the number of lands you discard it, and you can pay 1 and a blue to put it into your library. Third from the top. There you go, Fibblethip. That's the Fibblethip text.
Yeah, I do like that Fibblethip, actually. He is the card draw, and he is the put into your deck, which I think is perfect. It works. It just makes so much sense with what this card does. It is a flavor win. I think this is a 10 out of 10 for coolness. Obviously, Borborygmos is cool, but Fibblethip on his back going, yeah!
And they're both one-eyed creatures. Like, it's pretty sick.
I love the art on both of them. We have the original art where they're beating up things and Fibblethip's going, yeah! And then the other one where Fibblethip looks like he's just kind of scared.
It's like a cartoon.
It is, but I do like the new Ravnica border, with the buildings. I think it looks really cool. I've heard people say it's not that cool, but I really like it.
I actually don't want to see it, though, because I don't need to go back to Ravnica.
We're going back to Ravnica in 2 years, BZ.
No. What's left to do? Everything.
The new big bad's on Ravnica.
Rat is an assassin. You gotta wrap that story arc up. Borborygmos and Fibblethip, pretty sweet. It's like good value, and you're never gonna kill this thing. It's kind of like one of the God Eternals, where instead of being dead, it'll just be third from the top.
Yeah, you're always gonna leave up the 2 mana, like always. So this thing never dies.
Next, we got Goro and Satoru. Kind of sounds like it rhymes almost. 213 above Skullbriar and below Daxos the Return. This is black, red, blue for a 3/4. And whenever one of our creatures that enters the battlefield this turn hit a player, you get a 5/5 dragon creature token. And you can pay 1 in a red to give all your stuff haste until end of turn.
If you get 3 players, guess what?
3 dragons.
3 dragons. So you can make a lot of dragons with this card. It's decently powerful, but it is a big hoop to jump through. Like making a creature enter and then hit is a hoop. I mean, it does give haste itself, but you're going to want to go around that because spending that 2 mana means you're going to be able to play less things. It's an interesting card.
You still want ninjutsu. You still want those 1/1 unblockables. Kind of cool.
Ninjutsu is what Satoru is like. It works with, and it gives haste. This card kind of comes together. 10 for the art. We went with this because the original art where Satoru's in the background and Gorogoro was going in for the attack.
Holy crap.
The lightning is a dragon.
That is awesome. It was just like, for me, that pieced it together. I was like, eh. And then I looked at it and I just saw, I'm like, okay.
I think the other art is really cool too, with Satoru and Gorogoro, in the Kamigawa style art.
That one looks a little weird to me, but I'm super happy with the front one, and I just kind of love this card. This card is just really cool, and we don't have anything like it.
What are the weird face things that Satoru
his
makes?
Tattoos, like his ink things, they can like summon them. They're like spirits.
Yeah, because they're on his original card and they're on this one. I just didn't know what they were. They look really weird. This card's super unique. I love that it cares about ninjutsu, cares about haste, it cares about bouncing things back to your hand, replaying them.
Dragons,
and dragons. It's a combination of that we've not seen before, and I really like it.
All right, Joe, you can do the next one.
All right, we got Golta and Mavrin above Wolfgar, below Gyruda at 199. 3 green, white for a 12/12 trample. When it attacks, you can get a big old dinosaur equal to the next biggest power you have on your board, not counting Golta. So any other creature, get it. It's tapped and attacking, or you can get lifelink vampires that don't come in tapped and attacking, but you get a number of 1/1s equal to the power of the next biggest creature.
Right. I like that it's an interesting choice between do you want damage now or lifelink later. This is just a 7-mana 12/12. I don't know how you're going to beat this in limited.
This thing's huge. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. And you get an attack, you either go wide or you keep going big. You just keep making bigger giant dinosaurs that come in tapped and attacking.
And it's just whenever you attack. So this thing kind of has haste.
It has the pseudo haste. So if you send in like a 5/5, you can send in 2 5/5s. Whatever power you send in, you can basically send in another with it. Super fun. This is big, over the top. You can make little vampires with lifelink, or you can make big giant dinosaurs. I love this art. The only thing in the art I don't like is I don't care about Mavrin at all because it's all Golta.
Yeah, what a sleeper, Mavrin. Nobody cares about Mavrin.
I also find the coin art very interesting. We're going to Ixalan very soon. I don't know what I think of the coin art, honestly.
I kind of hate it. Like it's a weird way to make the frame twice as big, and then even the coin has a frame, so you barely see anything.
It's interesting. I don't know that I like it either, but interesting is a good word for it.
Lucky for them, they got the front art, or the original art good. Let's go to Inga and Essica. Inga, another throwaway person no one cares about. 137 above Zopandrel and below Niv Mizzet Reborn. 2 green-blue for a 4/4. Creatures you control have vigilance and can tap for mana of any color to cast creature spells, and whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card. It's the old Simic ramp plus card draw, so obviously this card is good.
Oh yeah, this card is super, super good. All your creatures are just going to be tapping for mana, which is amazing because now we can tap them to play creatures, to draw cards. Oh my god, it's a value engine. This card's gonna be so good. The only thing that's not fun about it when I look at this card, like why did it not get a 10 for fun? Who wants to play against Simic Value? I've played against Simic Value 1,000 times. It just puts me to sleep. I love this art. She's shooting rainbows at people.
This is one of my favorite arts in this set. I love Essica's face, and Inga's even like, get him, and Essica's like, woo!
And they're riding in her chariot. That's
and
pulled
the cats are back.
Yeah, pulled by the cats on a rainbow as they shoot rainbows at Phyrexians. What a world we live in.
That's the coolest thing ever.
I can't believe that this is such LGBTQ propaganda with all these rainbows.
Yeah, and cats and Ingas.
Inga's known for being very gay.
Let's move on to the top 100. We have Atali ranked 83. He's the Primal Conqueror above Jorkadin, first Gold Warden, and below Heliod, Sun Crown. This is 5 red for a 7/7 trample. ETB, you get a Atali trigger. Exile top card of everyone's deck, cast them all for free, lands don't do anything, and you can pay 9 and a green Phyrexian to transform him into an 11/11 trample indestructible infect on players. It can deal poison to players if it hits them.
Yes, in addition to its normal damage.
That is true.
Which is kind of interesting. Like, but the 11 kills. But if, say, you deal 9, in fact, you also deal 9 regular damage that actually matters.
Right, unlike Blightsteel, where it just won't matter.
Yes, where the 9 won't matter. If you get rid of it, this thing's indestructible. This thing is big, cool. It's powerful. We know Atali's trigger is really worth it. And the fact that you can get it on ETB rather than attack makes this card pretty powerful. For fun, I think it only loses fun on the fact that nobody wants to get hit for 11 infect and lose the game. Other than that, super fun. Also loses 1 point for that and 1 point for
stealing cards.
Stealing cards, yes.
The backside is like, it reads really good, but I'm not even really worried about that. I just want to blink the front side and just get a ton of value.
You can't worry about that because it costs 9 mana to flip.
Like, every once in a while you'll do it.
It's at sorcery speed, so you can just get blown out. It's so rough.
Yeah, best case scenario, somebody wipes the board and you can like flicker this until the end step.
Now this should be a 10 for art because the back is an absolute 10 for art, but the front's not, is whatever. The back is so good. I wish that the back was, I wish that, I'm going to put this card upside down so that I can just see the cool art.
Primal Sickness, I love that name.
Whoa.
Also, I love Atali is actually in the lore. He is a pretty big fight scene with Zatalpa, who kind of rips him apart, I think.
He's indestructible. How did he... Zatalpa, you monster!
Yeah, I can't remember. I think somebody else might be involved in that. But yeah, the Elder Dinosaurs are all called to fight Atali.
Yeah, and I like that. I do. This card is so cool. Like, it is literally one Elder Dinosaur already sweet. It's like this old dinosaur, and now it's a Phyrexian skeleton monster.
It's like Joe wished for another Atali, and then like the monkey's paw curls, and it's like, well, we'll never see him again.
And for uniqueness, this card is super unique playing our opponent's stuff. And the fact that it flips into a Blightsteel Colossus on the backside.
Come on.
My God. This card is a home run. I mean, it's the first one in the top 100, but it's the first of many because this set is so cool. Let's keep going. Top 100. Let's continue it. Number 70, BC. What is it?
It's Omnath, Locus of All. They gave us the 5-color Omnath, and who would have thought he got completed by Phyrexia? He is above Shadrix Silverquill and below Olivia Crimson Bride at rank number 70. This is Woo-Erg for a 4/4. If you would lose unspent mana, it becomes black instead. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of your library. You reveal that card if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols in its mana cost. If you do, you add those mana to your mana pool. And if you don't, you put it back in your hand. So you draw a card anyway. It's going to be like, this is basically a 4-mana card, pay 2 life, and then Phyrexian Arena every pre-combat main phase.
Yes, exactly. You draw a card every single turn, and then sometimes you get mana depending on if it's multicolored. I think you want to build this to be like, I would build this as my 3-color commander deck. Like, now I have a spot to play that stupid stoplight from before. Finally, I have a place for the stoplight.
Threefold Signal, is that what it's called?
Threefold Signal. It's time to get that into a deck. This is a fairly powerful card. It's 4 mana. Draw every single turn. You're just going to get a new card, and you can just build up your mana. We've seen this ability be strong on Legends before.
Yes, I think this set has amazing flavor and amazing art and amazing characters. This is not even close. This is the best art in the set. This is the Buy a Box promo Omnath. holy crap, it's so good. It makes me excited.
There's 3 of these art. So 1, it's original art. Let's look at it. It's good. It looks great. In
It
fact,
looks looming and terrifying. Like, I don't want to fight that thing.
yeah, and we know it's huge. But I do think one thing lacking there is scale. It's like
There's a mountain like in front and there's a person on it, but it's hard to see.
It's really hard to see. And then the other one, the alt art that for the
Like the expedition
showcase from that also looks good. But then there's the BioBox promo. And when BZ says the best art in the set, I think it's the best art in the set. This card looks amazing, terrifying, gives you scale. Why does he? I didn't realize Omnath could look so cool because
this might be one of my 10 favorite Magic arts of all time.
Because the last Omnath art that we saw, the last new one, was the big gloopy green thing that was a full art, like that the 4-color Omnath full art. Like what was that thing? Looks like a piece of Jello.
Yeah, what a great way to finish the Omnath cycle and then just send the character away. Like he's done now. He's a Phyrexian. They lose. He's dead. Just awesome. And it's a unique take on Omnath without being busted like half of the other Omnaths were.
A unique take while still feeling traditional to the original Omnaths and introducing the Phyrexian side of Omnath by making it black mana. Super cool.
Now we're really getting to the cream of the crop, the top legends of the set, and you may notice an entire cycle hasn't even been mentioned yet. That's because the Praetors have come back, and they're all the coolest things ever. So let's go to Shieldred, the worst one, ranked 67, above Satoru Umezawa and below Nicol Bolas, the Ravager. 3 black for a 4/5 menace. ETB, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or a planeswalker. 4 and a black, if somebody has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, you can exile this, then return it to the battlefield as a saga. This one is the True Scriptures. Chapter 1, for each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker they control. Chapter 2, each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. Chapter 3, put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, then exile this and put it back as Shieldred, which you can then flip again.
Yeah, so Shieldred is really cool. This is the weakest of the Praetors. I mean, they're all coming up on this list. Obviously, this is the weakest power-wise, and it definitely loses fun points because of the fact that this makes everyone discard 3. That is super unfun.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. So she loses some power and she loses some fun, so she falls a bit short of the other Praetors, who are all basically back-to-back later. All Praetors have a 10 for art, all Praetors have a 10 for coolness, and all Praetors have 2 additional things in the lore. So obviously all 5 Praetors die. They're like the front runners of New Phyrexia, so they have to go for the invasion to be, quelled. Shieldred is the first one to die, gets her head chopped off, and I will say with all 5 Praetors except for Elishnorn, who we'll get to, it's sort of unclear that they're actually dead or staying dead, and they all kind of got a little anticlimactic send-off. Shieldred just kind of dies in the first chapter.
She just dies.
To Elishnorn, not to any hero.
Yeah, it's very, very stupid and it feels bad. Did you mention these all have a 10 for uniqueness? Because all 5 of these have triple 10s on the back end. So these cards are amazing. They're cool. It's just a matter of for ranking them, what is their power and what is their fun.
Right. So the piece of Shieldred that makes people think that, is she dead? I don't know. They should have clarified this. She can A, split into a million little spiders, and B, there was an entire story about how repurposed Phyrexian parts can withhold the personalities of their former selves. They can, maybe. And Elishnorn's go, that piece of junk Shieldred, go throw her in and repurpose her. We don't even know if that happened. It's just I'll get to that for every Praetor, because there's a little bit of huh?
It's sad. It really is sad that they just kill Shieldred in this anticlimactic fashion. It sucks.
Yeah, nice rebellion. You're dead. Let's go to the coolest non-Praetor legend in the set, maybe. Thalia in the Gitrog Monster. 63 is their rank, above Lord Windgrace and below... Spoiler! Jerry's just built this card, so I'll let them read it.
All right, so Thalia in the Gitrog Monster is 1 in an Abzan for a 4/4 first strike death touch. Each of your turns, you can play an additional land. When you attack, you can sacrifice a land or a creature to draw a card, and your opponent's creatures and non-basic lands all enter tapped. Wow, this card is strong. This is a 7 for power.
At least, for now. It might be better.
It might, first thing, the Staxy thing is already really, really strong. Playing additional land, super strong. This is a creature that...
It's 4 mana.
Nothing can really kill this thing in combat, so attacking is free with it. It's absolutely what are they going to block with? 4 creatures or 5 creatures with 4 power in order to kill this? No, they're not. This thing's just going to get through or get chump blocked. That's what's going to happen every single time. This card is powerful. This card is so strong. I think if you haven't played with the ability to make your opponent's stuff enter tapped and their lands,
Underrated.
way underrated. It is so strong. Easy 7 for power.
The only reason this probably isn't the number one legend in the set is because the entering tap and stuff, and like the repetitive nature of this card never going away. It's just going to keep fueling itself to come back out. Makes it a 5 for fun.
Yeah, you don't want to play against this. This is a really unfun card to play against. The fact is, the entering tap thing it's a stacks piece, and like it is unfun. And I know I played as a commander. I know it's not fun to play against. In fact, this card draws so much more hate due to that than you expect. It's like people hate their stuff entering tap, so it gets blown up a lot.
Yeah, but this card is amazing. I love everything about this. Thalia and the Gibrog Monster is the most hilarious, but also like badass pairing.
Yes, yeah, exactly. The art is amazing. I was sad at first because the original art, okay, it's not bad. And then there's the promo. No, there's the
showcase.
The showcase that you see on every one, and then
there's the promo.
It's a promo. It's the win. It's like a store championship. The store championship promo. Oh my God, it's so good. I was so scared that I was going to have to use like a mediocre version of it, and then store promo showed up. I'm like, I'm getting that.
Yeah,
I am getting that version. It is a 10 for art, not even close. Thalia's a 10 for coolness. Gitrog Monster's a 10 for coolness. These are 11 for coolness, but we can't give 11s because that would be cheating other characters. But if there was an 11 for coolness to be given out, this would be given an 11.
Yes. The only gripe I have with this card, even though it's flavorful, is like they just straight up stole my First Strike Death Touch from Glissa. She doesn't even have it. She can only get it later in the card that she has from this set.
Yeah, and this card's pretty unique. I mean, all these abilities stapled together. First Strike Death Touch is on literally 3 cards.
2 of them are Glissa. And actually 4 of them, 3 of them are Glissa.
Four of them, and 3 of them are Glissa. Awesome. Everything about this card is a home run to me. Probably my favorite card of all time.
All right, now this next legend, power-wise, is the best legend in the set. Not close. It's obnoxious. I don't know if I ever want to play against this. And looking at it, it just seems like Chulane Corvold levels of, bleh, oh my God, it's so good. Zamone and Dina, they are above Thalia and the Gitrog Monster and below Atraxa Grand Unifier at rank 62. Green, black, blue for a 3/4. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Tap, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, do it again.
This is an absurdly powerful Magic card.
It doesn't look like it is as busted as it is, but it is.
I mean, just like, okay, so on base, let's like we don't care about that first line of text. It's
just gravy.
It's gravy. It's there. We'll take it. The second line of text is everything. Sacrifice a creature, draw a card, put a land into play, and then do it a second time. If you have 8 lands, you're gonna get there fast because you're playing this card. On top of all that, this value engine, this ridiculously over the top card, it combos. It just goes infinite with things like Field of Dead, bounce lands.
Amulet of Vigor can also help you go infinite because it makes the tap lands untapped. This is just going to be a million ways to untap this card and Field of the Dead / Scoot Swarm / anything that makes tokens on landfall, and you will literally never get a turn. They're just going to do this 100 times.
Yeah, Intruder Alarm is going to combo with this. And what's the other untapper? Retreat to Korahom.
Yep.
It's just like ridiculous.
Thornbite Staff too.
Thornbite Staff. This card is ridiculous. This card is absolutely absurd. If you didn't think, like when you looked at this card, you thought, oh, this is really cool. That's what I thought.
Right. It's actually so cool and good it's lame.
It's busted. It's absolutely busted strong-wise. It's going to be lame. It's going to be Chulane. It's going to be Corvold.
Jesus, it's the second coming of Chulane Corvold.
It really is.
It asks nothing of you.
Literally nothing of you. For fun, it's not going to be that fun to play against because it's going to be that super value engine, that Chulane, that Corvold.
Did we sound like we were going to have fun?
Yeah, it's not going to be a very fun card. The art, I love the alt art of the Strixhaven, like what Mystical Archive.
I love the team up. I love Zamone. I love Dina. They're pretty cool together. Killian and Rutha, while in the story as well, kind of got shafted this
These
set.
Characters just stand to get more lore too, which is cool. So because we met them, they're all the prodigies of their houses, and it's cool that like we get to expand on them. It's like we're seeing them here, and it's like maybe in 2 or 3 years we return to Strixhaven. I would love if we went back in the future and these are deans.
Yeah.
Like that'd be so cool. Like all of them are now the deans of their school. Like that. Oh, I would be so happy.
Yep, I love everything about this card except the power. Like all the other 4 categories, home run, power, yikes.
Yeah, it is scary powerful. And this card is super unique. It is. I thought it was gonna be cool because it was a draw 2 commander. It's like, oh, cool. Whenever you draw 2, you get to do this thing. But it's like, oh, it's actually lame.
Right, you just erase that. Let's go to Slimefoot and Squee, who made it above Zamone and Dima. They are above Arami and below Brutaclad at 47 overall. Sheesh.
Yeah. There's still a ton more commanders to come on this list. And this is probably the best set for commander maybe of all time.
Slidefoot and Squee is 1 and a Jund for a 3/3. They ETB your attack to bring along a sapling, which you can then sacrifice for 1 and a Jund to bring them back from the graveyard to the battlefield with another creature alongside them.
Oh my god, this card is awesome. The fact that they just get to keep rebuying it from the graveyard.
No tax, they're never dead.
There's a flavor fail here. An absolute flavor fail. So, Squee is no longer immortal.
Right, he gave up the power to come back with when he met God after he got completed.
Yeah, what the heck is going on? Squee can come back from the graveyard, which is like his normal ability, which makes sense for a Squee card, not for a Squee card who is now mortal.
Right, and then Slidefoot can't really do that we know of. Slidefoot just makes saplings.
Yeah, he's the sapling side of this. He's making the saplings. This card is pretty powerful, though. I mean, you let it die. You can even sacrifice it. It gave you the sapling to pay the ability to bring it back and reanimate something with it. Fairly powerful.
You're not going to be able to beat this. You got to, this is almost a card, maybe like Zabonadina, not necessarily. You're not going to be able to beat this. This is a card that you might just have to kill the player because they're never going to stop Slimefooting and Squee.
Value engine.
I can kill Zamonadina 7 times, and then they won't be able to play it again. I can't kill Slimefoot and Squee 7 times.
Yeah, it just goes to the graveyard, and you keep using it over and over. Super fun, though. I think this is going to be a super fun card to play. It's just a big reanimation deck with... you're making some saplings to do this thing, obviously, but this is... Squee and Slimefoot are both really cool characters overall. We love Squee. Squee's been around forever. He's what is he? Magic's original meme character?
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's the OG meme, and then the art. Oh, I love this art. They're just out there fighting. They're like
Squee's like, ooh.
Yeah, Squeeze. I like the alt art where he's got next. Ooh.
Slimefoot's all chubby, and there's little chubby saplings.
Yeah, he's just sending out the saplings. And
when Wizards tweeted out, "Don't talk to me or my fungus sons ever again," quoted by Slimefoot.
It's so good. It's probably the best quote in Magic's history, and you can't even find it anywhere. You have to find it on a tweet from Magic on their Facebook page from 10 years ago.
Yeah, from 2019.
And that's right. It's a tweet on Facebook. That's how hard it is to find.
Slidefoot and Squee was the 5th top legend in the set, so now we're going to move on to the 4th best. This is Elish Norn. Above Queen Marchesa and below Nethroi at rank 19 is where she made it up to.
There's 3 more commanders on this list.
Of all commanders ever, we're at 19, and there's still 3 more. 2 white for a 3/5 vigilance whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control. That source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. 2 and a white, sacrifice 3 other creatures. Turn her into the Argent Etchings, Chapter 1. Incubate 2 5 times, then transform all incubation tokens you control. Chapter 2. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain double strike until end of turn. Chapter 3. Destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile this thing, turn it back into Elish Norn. You have at least 5 creatures that you can then flip into it again.
Yeah. Oh, this card is amazing. I mean, it does cost a lot to get going. You have to sacrifice a lot. There's a chance to get blown out. So that's where it loses all its power. But when you do the thing,
the game's over.
The game, you're going to knock out a player for sure. And then you're going to have Elish Norn again. You're going to flip her again. And now they have to answer this again. And it's just super cool. I don't think this one's going to be fun to play against because they have to throw a lot into this. And
you have to work for this.
You have to work for this. And yeah, it's a lot. When you get a ton out of this card. But it is super cool. I think the board wipe is the least fun thing if they get to it. It's another board wipe, and then you're just going to flip and do another board wipe.
Yeah, the thing about this white one being white is that white and green and blue to a lesser extent are the best proliferate colors, so you can cheat through the saga faster and just kind of speedrun it.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously... 10 for art, amazing lore. We love Elish Norn. She's awesome.
She's the biggest villain right now.
I just had a realization as to maybe one of the biggest reasons, and this was not told very well in the story, but it could have been but it was pseudo told in the story. All of the Praetors have separate goals, and that's what the flipping is.
Yeah,
it's their goal.
It's their belief system,
and that's what gets them ultimately beat because they don't work together.
Right. They don't work together at all.
If all 5 Praetors work together, they couldn't lose, right?
I don't think so. Really, Elish Norn, Vorinclex, and Jigataxis were on the same page, but Elish Norn kills Urabrask and Shieldred pretty close to the beginning, and then it's we'll see Vorinclex dies, and then Jigataxis is wait a minute, you're a jerk. You don't even care about Phyrexia. She doesn't care about Phyrexia.
In her biggest moment of that she needs the most help, she's totally doesn't give a crap about Jingataxis, and Jingataxis is just I'm not helping you.
She rips his arm off, and then she's just leave me alone. I am Phyrexia. I hate Elish Norn. She's using all these I statements, which is a big no-no for a hive mind.
Yeah, because she's not a hive mind.
She's just a maniac. She's perfect villain, and in the end, Elspeth, Archangel Elspeth, jabs her through the stomach and weakens her, and then she's kind of just ripping apart her own forces and stuff, and just her legs get chopped off, and like the Phyrexians turn on her, and her headpiece gets ripped, and she's like crawling towards them still as the army of Zhalfir flees through the portal. And Karn's like, time to finish what I started. Just rips her head off.
Not only rips it, and then disintegrates it.
Yeah,
disintegrates her head.
He's like, I'm sorry. Like you were my biggest mistake. Rips her head off. So cool. She got a good send off.
She's dead. Yeah, she actually died in a good way. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go on to the next one. The next Praetor. Who do you think it is?
I think it's Urabrask, and I think he's ranked number 10, above Mishra, claimed by Gix, and below, obviously, spoiler. This is Urabrask's redemption, because he is now probably the best Praetor in the cycle. Power-wise, yes. Not lore-wise. Urabrask sucks. 2 red for a 4/4 first strike. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, he deals 1 damage to an opponent, and you add red. Red, exile him, then return him to the battlefield as a saga, but only if you cast 3 or more instant sorceries. That's not that hard. Turns into the Great Work. Chapter 1, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control. Chapter 2, create 3 treasure tokens, probably the weakest chapter of every saga that we have. And then Chapter 3, until end of turn, you can cast instant sorceries from anybody's graveyard, and then he's going to flip back, and oh look, you cast 3 sorceries this turn. Flip them again.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be really. Yeah, this card is awesome. It is so strong. It is so easy to flip. If you can get the proliferation going, this is like the highest payoff
but it's the hardest to do.
You can start flipping back and forth, but there is proliferate. Like it's not undoable. So if you can get it going back and forth, this card is awesomely powerful. I mean,
really good with rituals.
So easy to flip. I mean, you're gonna cast so many spells. I mean, you get to Yogg will your and your opponent's graveyards.
Yes. Wow. Urabrask, just a home run. What a great design. Obviously 10-10-10. He does die. I would say not in the beginning, in the middle of the story. He gets chopped into pieces, and the inconclusive conclusion with Urabrask is I think he gets chopped into 4s. But then they just kind of like send him away, and you're like, well, where did he go? Like, is he okay? Is he gonna come back?
I thought, I know there's a lot of Urabrask stands out there. I am definitely one of them. It's a unique take. Like, the way to defeat the villains is like you get the guy in charge who, like, he's fine with completion, like,
but only willingly.
Consensual, yeah. Like if the other person wants to be completed, they'll complete him. And like I thought that was cool and unique and
it was a great addition to the roster. I just think Wizards knew, and I knew that he was never going to actually do anything.
Should have won.
And he just kind of like existed, and there's a rebellion, but not in any way that matters. He's on New Capenna, but he doesn't really matter. He's going to have one conversation with Vivian, and you're never going to see him until he gets ripped apart. I still think the Praetors are like 100% dead, but it is annoying that it's somewhat confusing for some people, like it's inconclusive, kind of.
Yeah, I wish Urabrask had gotten a better send-off.
Bye-bye.
Truly sad.
Let's move on up to the number 2. This is Jin Gitaxias, rank 9 above Urabrask and below. Spoiler! 3 blue for a 5/5. It's got Ward 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, you draw a card. And then you can pay 3 and a blue to exile him and turn him into a saga, but only if you have 7 or more cards in hand.
It's a lot of cards.
But he turns into the Great Synthesis. Chapter 1, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. At least 7. You have no maximum hand size until this thing goes away. Chapter 2, return all non-Phyrexian creatures to their owner's hands. Oh no, even mine? Don't worry. Chapter 3, you may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost, and then you exile this thing, and you turn it back into Jin. And of course, you're going to have 7 cards in your hand if you want to, so you can flip them again.
Silly card. Silly card. So much fun. It is fairly powerful. I think it's got one of the like best front side abilities. Like this is a solid 5. Like only one that's better is Urabrask. Like you're just going to be drawing cards. You're going to churn through your deck a lot. And then you're going to get your hand full and flip this into this ultra powerful thing. This is so fun. The back is over the top, ridiculous. It's not stopping your opponents from doing anything. It's just doing ridiculously fun stuff. And yeah, the bounce is slightly unfun. That's why I get to 9 here. But it's still absurdly awesome.
Still really great. And of course, we get to go to our number 1 legend in the set, ranked number 8 above Jin Gitaxias and below Scarab God. We got Vorinclex. 3 green for a 6/6 trample reach. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle, and you can. And there's no restriction here. You just pay 6 green, transform them into the Grand Evolution. Chapter 1, mill 10 cards, put up to 2 creature cards from among them onto the battlefield. Chapter 2, distribute 7 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Chapter 3, until end of turn, creatures you control gain 1:. This creature fights target creature you don't control. Exile them back. Turn them into Vorinclex, which will then get you 2 forests. Not really something you can loop over and over, but it is value if you want forests. But this is like 2 giant creatures coming in play, and then you're just destroying everything your opponents control.
Yeah, this thing is just silly. It's a really, really silly, over-the-top card. You're going to play it. You're going to get your card value right away because you get to go get 2/4. So basically, this is drawing you 2 magic cards. Granted, they're always going to be land, but lands are useful in most situations. So you're going to go get them out of your deck. 10 for fun. It's big, silly, dumb, like absolutely ridiculous card on the backside.
And taking, like, unlike the rest of the Praetors, not really taking away anything from your opponents, just pure unadulterated fun on your side.
It will.
Like, you're going to remove stuff.
When it ultimates, you remove stuff. But that's fine. It's like, ultimating is like the big over-the-top ridiculous. You've done it all. It's like,
yeah,
removing stuff is fair. 10 for art, amazing. Vorinclex looks like scary baddie.
Yeah, it's one of the weaker front side Praetors, but what it doesn't, like, it makes up for fun where it doesn't take anything away from your opponents. It's just like completely epic and awesome. So I guess I didn't really mention Jin-Gitaxias' deal. He gets kind of like murked by a rando with a hammer and then falls into his own war machine, which has a bunch of his little newt babies in it, and they start eating him. But then I think what people are confused about is Teferi's like, you're starting to get eaten. Looks away, and then it's like, well, did he proceed to get eaten all the way? I don't know. They just said he got starting to get eaten. Vorinclex dies in the middle. He's the third Praetor to die. Jin-Gitaxias is the second last. Elesh Norn's the last, obviously. Vorinclex gets his head chopped off by Elspeth's flaming sword. In the story, it's a little confusing that Elspeth actually did that, but she's the one who did it. Teferi's like, he's ripping through Teferi's time magic. He's pouncing on Teferi. Teferi hits him with the old, look behind you. And he's like, oh, and then just gets his head chopped off. Which I think was going to happen anyway. Like, what would looking at Elspeth change from her chopping his head off?
It wouldn't change anything. It's just it's really, really silly. Another thing about all these cards is all their alt arts are amazing. Like, their regular arts are good.
The alt arts are fantastic.
But they all have these alt arts where they're just like, what are they, oil slick?
Like oil slicky type, yeah.
Oil slick type thing. They look amazing. I mean, and this is obviously 10 for uniqueness. There's nothing like this. What flips into a saga? Nothing except for these 5 Praetors.
Right. Oh, and the inconclusive death theory this time around. They're all different, weirdly enough. This one is, we know that Vorinclex initially was the first Praetor to go through the planar bridge. What happened right after that? He melted into goop and then reconstructed himself. So does chopping his head off actually kill him? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, goop
probably.
I mean, it might. It probably did. I mean,
I wish we knew.
I wish the story was told a little bit better. I really do.
Yes, but overall, this set is amazing. It's so freaking cool.
It's got to be the best set. I literally think this might be the best set we've ever gotten. Single set, especially in the Commander era, for Commander. I mean, there's absurdly good commanders all over the place, absurdly unique commanders, absurdly fun commanders. It's got power, fun, uniqueness. It's got great art. It's got everything you want out of commanders, and individual cards from the set review, which you can go check out, which is floating right over there. No, BZ, it's over there. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You can check out that set review, and there's so many amazing cards. We gave out like 4 A's. We never give out A's.
Go see what we did.
Peace out, Tribe Scouts.